Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Lunch and Learn Workday series, Digital Teaching and Learning. It is sponsored by us, and today is Wednesday, and we are going over Goguardian Teacher. So while you are taking a bite and making sure that you get some nourishment for your body, enjoying your workday, we hope that you're able to, learn about Goguardian and other features that we have. Let me turn down my audio in the background for that. All right, so Goguardian Teacher. So first of all, what is Goguardian? So Goguardian is what we use here in Hope County School System for our Chromebook, you could say monitoring for our students. It's what we use for that, for device monitoring for Chromebooks. If you are in grades, if you have a student or if you teach kindergarten, pre-K, or first grade, your students are using iPads and they will be monitored through Jamp Classroom. So you can reach out to Karen Nichols, our DIF coordinator, and she can get you started on the management for those devices. But for second grade, all the way up into 12th grade, and some of our early college kids as well, they are going to be monitored. Everything they do will be monitored using Goguardian. And some of the features that it has tab control. You as a teacher have the ability to push out what tabs you want students to be able to see and put them in a particular scene. And it kind of helps them to channel their thinking, and it kind of helps them to kind of think about what they're going to be learning today by looking at those types of tabs. Also, you can control that you only want them on certain tabs. You can also say how many numbers of tabs that you want as well. So if I have my students and I want them to be able to have, some type of research tab open, and I want them to be able to have Canvas open, then I have the ability to control that. It also has an attention mode, and that focuses our students without having to stop learning and, tell them to, get on task. It has a way for you to lock their screens and bring all eyes to the front. I know in some of our classrooms, we use the term, all right, everybody at a 90 degree, I want Chromebooks at 90 degrees, or I want them at 45. And so this is a way to do that without having to stop class, and you can lock everybody's screen, or you can focus their attention of individuals. It has that activity timeline and that screen view. I'm able to see in real time what it looks like for a student to be on whatever they're going to be on. Hold on for a quick minute. And so that screen view shows them what that student's on. I'm able to expand it, and I can do different things with that. That chat gives me that one-on-one with that student. Maybe I want to do some social emotional learning. And I just want to check in with my students. How are you doing today? I want to send them something private. Maybe I want to do something small group, and I want to be able to call that student over without everyone seeing that maybe they didn't get the information, or they're not grasping the concepts and the content. I can send them a chat, and it will be able to alert them, and then they can chat back and forth with me and just let me know how their day is going, or meet me over there at my small group table. So Goguardian is what you can use every day. It's up to you, depending on what type of facilitator of learning that you are. It's up to you if you want to only monitor your students. Maybe you have a 90 minutes and you only want to monitor them for, 30. And then the rest of it is kind of exploration. They can kind of do what they want to do. It's up to you, but it needs to be monitored every day. As long as students are using devices, it is an asset. You need to use it. So within Goguardian, we have a couple of terms. And that is 3 terms I want you to remember: sessions, classrooms, and scenes. Sessions, classrooms, and scenes. So classrooms are what you teach, the particular content area of what you teach. What is your classroom? Is it 4th period reading? Is it Third period weightlifting. Is it advanced placement? All right. That's going to be the area that you teach. Those are going to be your Goguardian classrooms. All right. And within those classrooms, you'll add students to whatever classroom that you have set up based on, what they are signed up for and what's on their schedule. All right. So in the classrooms, they're going to look like these two right here. These are two examples of what a classroom looks like. The students are going to be enrolled. Like I said before, you've got teacher permissions that you can set up. If you have an assistant teacher that you want to, have to co-teach on your Goguardian classroom, you have the ability to do so. Do that as well. That way they can help you monitor. All right. They're going to sit in folders just like this. That's what your classrooms are going to look like. Keep in mind, again, that is the content that you teach. For example, fourth period reading, third period weightlifting. All right. Sessions, excuse me. Sessions are your periods of time. So think about classrooms as the what, and sessions are the amount of time that you have those students, that you're able to monitor those students. Sessions should only be started when you want to monitor your students. Say, for instance, when they go to Ms. Covington's class, I shouldn't still be monitoring those students because they're with another teacher. So think of sessions again as the time period of when you want to monitor those students. Okay. And so as the bullets say, they can start automatically at specific times or dates. If you're not one of those people who want to do it manually, that's for you. You can already go ahead and start those sessions. Students, when I was in the classroom, students knew that the first thing they would do is to log into their devices, and then they would go onto their learning management system at that time and that we were using, and they would go in and go straight into their bell ringer. All right. And so that session can automatically be started ahead of time. Okay. And someone, if you a person that wants to do it manually, you can, but you always have to remember, I've got to log in to Goguardian and I've got to hit start session. But we want them to kind of start automatically. So keep in mind, again, classrooms, what you teach, and sessions is the time or period that you are actively monitoring those students. Once they leave you, then that's when you are going to end that session. All right, so how to create a classroom. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up a new tab and we're going to type in Goguardian.com. All right, and once you type in Goguardian.com, you can hit sign in on the right-hand side. Sign in on the right-hand side. If this is your first time, what's going to happen at first is it's going to come up, it's going to ask you to log in. We're going to log in with Google. All right. We're going to log in with Google, and Google is going to authenticate for you. So that way you don't have to remember a Goguardian password. You don't have to remember a Canvas password and all that jazz. If you hit log in with Google and then choose your Hope County Schools email address, it will bring you to this page. If this is your first time logging in, what you're going to do is accept the terms and conditions, scroll all the way to the bottom, make sure you check those boxes and you read everything that is in the terms, and then it'll bring you to this. So you're going to hit log in with Google, not an actual Goguardian password. So you should never email anybody and ask them, hey, where's my Goguardian password? Authenticate with Google. It makes life so much simpler. All right. So once you do that and you've accepted the terms, if you don't have an email address or you don't have a Goguardian account, you're going to email your principal, and then they are going to fill out the form that's that has been curated from our digital teaching and learning department. And it's going to shoot me an email or our director, and they are going to make you a Goguardian account. All right. So that's what you're going to do. For those of you who don't have a Goguardian account, if you log in with Google and it doesn't work, that is why. Your principal needs to fill out the proper paperwork, and that form is going to be sent to our department, and then we will create you a Goguardian account. For those of you who have one, again, log in with Google to authenticate with Google, and it's going to bring you to this page. Now, as you can see, because I teach teachers, my classes look a little bit differently. They're not called math and reading and all that good stuff, I have my classes set up here. So if I want to add a classroom, I'm going to go over here and click add classroom. And that's when it's going to give me the criteria that is needed to create a class. All right, here's my class name. I may put Miss Ray's Reading Stars, whatever I'm going to put. What is my subject? I'm going to go ahead and add that. All right, description. So that way, maybe I got two groups of reading stars and I need to be able to differentiate one from the other. That is for you. All right. And then you've got scenes that you want to go ahead and apply. And that is something different. We'll go to that in a few minutes. And you can also color code your classroom. So you know that first period is red, second period is blue, and whatever else. Okay. Then you're going to hit add classroom when you are done. I am not going to create a class right now because I've already got some that I'm going to use today. All right. So once I've created a classroom, once I click on my class, I have different things that I can see. Okay. This is a list of my sessions. Every time that I've had a session today and so far on. Okay. I have a list of, a log of all the sessions that I've had. And so if I want to go back and access different things that happened that day, guess what? I've got a running time. It told me when I did it. It's got my chat logs and all that good stuff. Okay. For students, I want to be able to add students. All right. So I have some students that I have right here already in here. I've got some sample students and let me just go ahead and do this. Okay, here we go. So we've got some sample students inside of this class, in these classes. I've got Betty Boop, Cruella de Vil, Mickey Mouse, and Little Mermaid. All right. If I want to add me some students in here, I've got 3 ways I can do that. So when I was doing a training earlier, a lot of the teachers like the first way. I'm able to tell my students to go to this classroom, go to this URL, enroll.goguardian.com. And I have an enroll code. And this is that code right here, okay, that you can use. And then it'll have them to join that class. If not, say for instance, it is a student at home and you're not able to give them that information or whatever the case is, I can add an email right here. Okay, so I can do L Mermaid, okay, 76, and then I'm 67, and I'm going to make sure that I have the proper extension on the end of that at student.hcs.k12.nc.us. And then after that, I'm able to highlight that button down there at the bottom will be able to light up, and then I can access and add that student. Or if you have all of yours inside of all of your emails addresses inside of a CSV or a Google Sheet or Excel, you can add all of those. Maybe your data manager imported them for you or made you a list, or you made your own list. All right. But it is going to take a while to compile that list of email addresses, and then you can import the entire CSV file into here. Okay. So that is 3 ways to add your students. Once again, we learn how to add a classroom, and then we've learned how to add classrooms. All we did was click on the classroom that we wanted to access, and then we learned how to add students. Okay, so I've already got my students in here. If I want to see if a student is pending enrollment and didn't accept or whatever, I can type their name in here and it will be able to tell me. All right, so here are my recordings. They're hosted here. I can also see what teachers have access to this course. And I've got some classroom settings that was at the beginning that I can play around with. So again, here are my list of classrooms. I can go ahead and start the class. If I want to start with the chat on, I can, or if not, I don't have to. So I'm going to hit start class. All right. And so what happens is you see all of your student screens at the same time they are loading. Okay. I see all of my student screens, and I see that I only have one. I've got 2 students logged in today. Cool. And I've got Little Mermaid and Mickey Mouse logged in today. At the bottom, you'll see these icons, these tabs that they have open. All right. As a teacher, I can close these tabs. So I see that Little Mermaid is looking for book bags right now. All right. And so I can close that tab if I want to. They're on Amazon. And I see that Mickey Mouse is on Loom. They also have the Mickey Mouse is in new teacher orientation. So they have their icebreaker up. And so they're actually probably doing what they're supposed to do. Okay. So in here, I'm looking at Little Mermaid and I'm saying, let me just see what's going on. I can click to expand, and that gives me that screen view that we were talking about earlier. All right. I can close those tabs from here as well. So say, for instance, I want to let Little Mermaid know, hey, I need you on YouTube watching that London Zoo walking tour video. All right. So once I do that, something happened to Little Mermaid. So, so what I'll do is, I'm gonna try Mickey Mouse then. Oh, there it goes, Little Mermaid's back. So I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna say, hey, I may need you on what particular website that I need you to be on. All right, but first I'm gonna screenshot so that way there's proof. I'm going to take a screenshot, and as you can see, that screenshot is going to be saved in this session, and I can later access, download it, email it to whoever, attach it to a write-up or a referral if I need to, or I can send it, download it and send it as a message to, a parent. All right, so I've got that proof. But I'm going to send them a little chat, and I'm going to say something polite. Hey. So you shouldn't be shopping at this time. And I'm going to say, please stay on task. All right. And so after I send that to Little Mermaid, they are alerted at the bottom of their screen. And see, if you notice, oh, she got my chat. So she's right. All right. And so maybe I want her to respond to me. I can add that on there. If I know that they access the chat, then maybe I don't need them to respond, but maybe I want them to say, hey, let me know. All right. And so Little Mermaid is a perfect student. She's letting me know that she has she's seen my message and she apologized. Okay. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her to another tab, and I want her to be on brainpop.com, and I am going to open that tab for her. And then she's asked me a question. What are we supposed to be doing? All right. And so I want her to be on BrainPop. And so after a while, she's getting she's getting the tab, so that way she can get on BrainPop. All right. So say, for instance, I want to lock the device. I had that option to do as well. And this is that attention mode. And maybe I want to tell my students, okay, here we are. And I don't want to yell across the screen. All right, screens are locked. And then I'm locking all the screens. I can do that. If I want to do more than one student at a time, here's that dash. Here's that dash. Okay. And I can click both of them. And then down here at the bottom, I can open a new tab, lock devices, apply a scene, and all that good stuff. So you got different options down there. So we've learned how to chat. We've learned how to screenshot. Another thing you can do is to look at the timeline of what students are doing. So how long they're spending on what. So I know that this student has been on, what is this? This student has been on YouTube for a little bit of time, and then they've got Amazon for a while. So I'm able to look at those trends, and now I have data to say, hey, maybe you didn't finish your work, because you were off task. You were on these different websites for this period of time. We've only had 45 minutes, and 20 of those minutes you were on Amazon looking for a backpack. All right. So I know another thing you could do is, if a student is maybe we're doing independent practice and I need to have some small group time with my student, I can call Little Mermaid and call her to my table without everyone having to know that she may not be grasping, what I'm teaching, or not be, she may not know, what's going on, or scoring really low, whatever the case is. I can call her and kind of read the problem to her, and nobody would ever know. She has her headphones in, and she has her headphones in, and she's talking. She's listening to me read a problem or read the prompt, or helping her out, and I'm giving her assistance. All right. And I'm working with a couple of students I've called, and maybe I don't want them, maybe because of COVID, I don't want them, too close to each other. So this is a way for me to kind of work with them, while they have their earbuds in, and they're, they may be in whole group, but I'm small grouping them by just working with two students, and I've called them. So there is a way that you can do that. And so what I'll do is I'll go back to my screen, and then I will click over here. I'll click over here on the student and oh yeah, sorry. I'll click over here on the student and then I will hit call student. Okay. And then this opens up to another tab and I'm going to allow permissions and all that good stuff. I'm able to call that student. And it kind of looks like Zoom, start the call. I can have my camera off and all that good stuff. And I'm able to call her and say, hey, let's talk about that problem a little bit. I notice you're in Canvas. I see that you're working and all that good stuff. But, let's go back and look at some of those assignments. And I'm working with that student or students and in a small group setting. And everybody doesn't have to know. And it's very discreet. And we're talking the whole time. And it gives them that extra assistance that they need. I also can make student groups, okay? So that way it's easy for me to push out certain tabs to this particular, my lower level students. However way you differentiate, maybe I want these students to be doing this particular product, then guess what? I can group them together and push out the tabs that they need. So remember we talked about scenes, sessions, and classrooms. The last one is a scene. And a scene is, think about scene as the content, what I want my students to be able to see. All right. I want them, if we're doing some type of research activity, I want them to be able to research, any answers or and have that at their disposal, but I don't want them on YouTube. All right. So maybe I want to push out 2 tabs to them. I want that first tab to be Canvas so that way they can access their assignment. And then that second tab, it makes a student, especially our higher level students, well, our our lower grades too. It makes them decide if I have to look up answers and I want to do some research, or if I want to be on YouTube, it makes them make a conscious decision of what those 2 tabs are going to be. All right. And so, so we want to make sure that those scenes, I only want them on certain websites. If today we're going over the food pyramid, then guess what? I want to have all my stuff, articles from maybe Newsella. Maybe I want to have some stuff from Common Lit, food articles, certain things that I want them on, and different readings and texts that they can use. I can put that and I can apply that into a scene, and this is what's going to happen. All right, for them. So that's what it's an easy way to apply that scene. So right here, if it asks me to apply a scene, I've already built my scenes. I've got labs, I've got SchoolNet, I've got testing. So I've already went in and built my scenes, and you can do that by coming over here. Okay. Keep in mind that we do send out a newsletter. And it's going to have, this information in there for you. It'll have how to set up your classes, how to add students. It'll have how to set up your scenes as well as the different functions and stuff of Goguardian. All right, so I'm going to go back to this class. Let's see if there's anything else I am forgetting. So we've talked about how to create a classroom. All right, we've already talked about running your session manually and all that good stuff. Here is the example. When you have a bunch of students, this is what the trends are looking like on the timelines. It also has those little icons so that way you can see how much time students have spent on those particular websites. All right, I can do a snapshot as well. Those command logs, I can open tabs, unlock and lock screens. Okay. And so that's what that is. 9 times out of 10, if you get this, a student is offline, if they are in your classroom physically, right? And they are with you in your class, in your classroom, and you see them, but you don't see their screen is showing offline. 9 times out of 10, they are logged into somebody else's account. Okay. So you as a teacher, make sure that you have some classroom management skills and you're going around and you're checking to see, what students are doing. All right. And so they need to know the consequences of sharing their logins. They need to make sure that they're reminded of being a good digital citizen. And so they need to know the consequences of sharing your logins. So that way, whenever I'm in Mrs. Covington's class, and my name is Larry, I'm in Miss Covington's class, but guess what? I'm using Bobby's log in. So Miss Covington can't see me and monitor me while I'm in her class. All right. So those are the commands again. All right. You can extend sessions as well. And then you can exclude students after a session has started. So say, for instance, today a student is not not here in my class. And maybe I don't want to monitor them today because I don't know what they have going on. So I can exclude them. Or maybe I have these particular students are doing this, and I got a little bit of blended going on, and I've got another portion of students who are doing this. I can exclude them from different and make them go into different scenes or different sessions. Okay. Different scenes, excuse me. So if I want to exclude them and I don't want them to, to be with the rest of the class, right? I want them to continue their learning and do something else. I can do that as well, whatever your reason for excluding a student would be. We've already talked about chatting, and we've already talked about scenes. And so I talked about scenes as being the content, but I love this. It says that it's a set of rules. So I want tabs to open automatically. I want them, the amount of tabs to be this. All right. I want this particular websites to be set up. All righty. And so it is 12:27, and I hope you guys have had a bite of lunch, and you were able to get some lunch and all that good stuff. I'm going to go to the chat and see if anybody is in the chat. Let's see. No, I don't see anything. No, anybody inside of the chat. What else? Let's see. We've already talked about the student groups. We've talked about scenes. You can get a report of this, of, each session and all that good stuff. And you can go back and look at the sessions of what happened. Also, I love the fact that you can annotate on top of the screen. And it gives you a little, it gives you instructions on how to do that. You can annotate in any color, so that way I'm able to highlight keywords for my students, from my desk, and maybe I don't have to get up and hoover over them. I can annotate. Hey, read that again. Go back and look at this. I can annotate on their screen to kind of give them that visual, to help them with that. If I need to close out tabs, I can close out all of that. I'm closing out her Amazon. That is a way how to do it. Remember how to do more than one student at a time. All I have to do is this. The chat is off for this particular student. I can do that. I can open the tab and redirect them as well. Okay. Please reach out to us. Hope you enjoyed our short lunch and learn. We want you guys to reach out to us if you have any questions at dtif@hcs.k12.nc.us. Also be on the lookout for videos, tips and tricks, any PD that we are offering. Also our digital digest will be sent to you, to your email, and you're able to read and use that as a resource. Once again, thank you guys for attending, and tune in tomorrow at 12 for a short lunch and learn, brought to you by Hope County's Digital Teaching and Learning Department.